till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What is up? TGIW. Hump Day. Hump Day. Up in this piece. Ready to go get after it. I hope you guys are tonight. I am fired up. Ready to attack this card. I'm just putting in some extra action. As it so be. Yeah. We bet what we play and what we give out on this show. That's the way we do it around here. Not like them other shows. It again today. Oh, I actually bet that. You did? Good job. Good job, fella. Go get your money. Let's go, guys. It's going to be a good day, though. May 21st. Just a couple days away from the Memorial Day weekend. And hopefully you guys have a good time. You know what we should have done? I blew it last week. Last Saturday. With one of them duck races. We should have gone with the give. Remember that time that we got in that giveaway contest about the barbecue and the sauces? Should have gotten that ready for, could have gifted that out there for Memorial Day weekend. Someone's got to remind me. By the time 4th of July rolls around here for the barbecue session for the 4th of July, we'll do a giveaway for local barbecue sauces. I think we got some good ones up in here. I think you guys would enjoy them, whether you like sweet or spicy or garlicky or tangy or whatever the case may be. But I'm ready for some Memorial Day weekend. Gonna get after it. No UFC, so it's a real treat. I don't know what to do with myself tonight. No UFC, no First Strike tonight. Did record some golf last night, so I'm gonna make a public service announcement. That golf starts super early tomorrow. I think it's 6 a.m. Dallas time, something like that, 7 a.m. So you're going to want to get out there. You're going to want to check it out. We broke it down into 4 segments. Pretty simple. You know how we do this by now. Top finishes, right? 20s, 10s, and 5s. And then outrights and first round leaders. So Jeff did top finishes and outrights, and I did top finishes and first round leaders and outrights. So just about a 10-minute video for you guys to get into. Sprinkle a couple dollars on this one. Here's the big thing about this tournament. Playing down in Texas, Jordan Spieth has placed quite well in this tournament. And, you know, what it comes down to is dogs, fire. This isn't just a Scotty Scheffler. It might be. Scotty Scheffler's in the field, and he just beats on everybody. But let's try this here. Let's flip that switch. See what that does. That doesn't do shit, does it? That's it. Anyhow, not the Scotty Scheffler Invitational. Dogs do place in this tournament, and we've got some dogs between 22 and 100 to 1. So plenty of fun. I like the first round leaders myself. We've come darn close on several of them. Close doesn't pay the bills. This ain't horseshoes. Certainly not hand grenades. So we got to get it. I think we got it this weekend. We'll see. We'll see how it faces out. Speaking of getting it, we got it last night. Did we not? Now, I cashed on the Panthers, but I gave you guys the under. Florida looks good. Florida might have to take a taste of their old cough medicine. What am I talking about? Bobrovsky took a whack to the head, and he gave him one of these. Now, in fairness, the shake that Stolarz gave was an involuntary shake because he had a concussion. The shake that Bobrovsky gave last night was, let me get the bells to stop ringing. There's a difference between the two. If you've played sports, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Also, Aho kicked that fucking goal in. I don't know what that was. Whoops. Not quite 8 minutes here, but what's the name for it? When you extend your foot, redirect the puck, and it goes exactly where you aimed. It's kicking. It's a kicking. And you're not allowed to kick. They called it a redirection. Whatever. Florida looked pretty darn good. Man, they look real. I text my buddy. I said, man, He and I were talking for Game 7 about Carter Verhaeghe and Ekblad. Right off the gate. Bang, bang. What an exciting first period. I think that series will be a lot of fun. I don't know if it's going to continue on that rapid, torrid pace, but Florida looked pretty good, which I like because I prefer Florida, I guess, to be in the tournament, the finals than I'd rather because then at least some of my boys are happy and it's go time out there. When their teams lose in the postseason, they're just immediately done and they're on to the next sport. So let's extend a little hockey in my life. Let's see the Florida Panthers go. Now we got a big game tonight. Dallas Stars, Edmonton Oilers. Where's the edge? I think I've got the edge. You know what we do. We scrub it off. Can't wait to talk to you guys about that. There's some player props out there as well. NBA. Look, we were looking pretty good in that thing with Minnesota until Ant got himself hurt. It was a loss. Second half was ugly. But favorite team down at halftime comes back and smokes that third quarter. Let's keep our eyes on that tonight. The Pacers and the Knicks will fire off game 1 at Madison Square Garden. We will be looking for, I don't even know if it matters. It doesn't matter. It'll probably be the Pacers that have to play in that third quarter. We'll talk about that game shortly, how things are going to gel at MSG. And there's a pretty full slate of WNBA tonight. 3 games. I've got a play and a player prop. A play and a prop. On the 8 p.m. game with the Dallas Wings and the Minnesota Lynx. They just played the other day. How do we go and attack the game? The Mystics and the Valkyries out there. The Valkyries, I got to see a little bit more about what's going on with them gals. They look like shit. And they couldn't score. And my assumption here is it's a franchise expansion. So they should look like shit. And they shouldn't be scoring. They're only laying 4, or they're only getting 4.5 tonight. I don't know. Then you got the Sparks and the Mercury. Big things going on down there in Phoenix. It's a fuck fest. It's not even a legend. It's in court-produced documents. But I'm not touching that one either. I'm not touching that one. Just one game for us tonight here. I believe I've gone 2-0 in my last 2. And then we've got Major League Baseball. The first game's going to pop off for us at $6.45. $1.45. New York Mets, Boston Red Sox, McGill and Crochet. It's Crochet Day. That's what I'm going to say. We'll talk about that momentarily. Jacob deGrom, the second coming of Jacob deGrom against the New York Yankees. And I don't know if that game's going to get rained out or not. Kind of seems like it might. Not going to touch the Padres and the Blue Jays. I would take the Padres. I'll give you that one right now. We're going to talk Phillies and Colorado. Last minute play came in. The Angels and the Athletics, the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Dodgers will wrap us up. We're going to start with baseball. I finished with baseball. We're going to start with baseball. Before we do anything, we're going to talk about where we were, where we've been. I think we went on our finest afternoon. Baseball is a little messed up today. A lot of trends that, frankly, afternoon ball didn't come to fruition. Last night, however, we were firing. We're seeing the diamond pretty clearly. Did lose the Miami-Chicago Cubs game. Probably in hindsight, sharp respected betting was coming in on Miami. Probably should have just played the first 5. It would have been a push. Instead, they puke up, 8 runs in the 6th inning, and we lose that game 14-1. 14-1. It only counts as 1 loss. It felt like 10. I stopped watching it. I'm a little stubborn though. The wins, we take a look at the score, we see how they're doing. I punish myself with the losses. I do make myself watch it. I stopped watching it around 11-1. I was hoping for the comeback. I wasn't necessarily expecting it, but feel like, hey, stupid, if you made a bad pick, you got to own it. You got to watch it. You got to eat it. That's the way it goes. And so I did watch it till about 11-1, but 14-1 loss. Besides that, though, smash baseball. We cashed the Pirates under 8. That was a 1-0 final. We're going to talk about some stat factors to look at again. We cashed Tampa Bay 3-2. That was sweaty, but it was a final. We cashed the Yankees, Texas Rangers under 9. That was 5-2. Patrick Corbin Day, but he didn't play terrible. He did not play terrible. We cashed both our double dips there. The first 5 under 4.5 and the Milwaukee-Baltimore spot. 3-0 shutout. First 5 innings. Then we cashed our 5-2 under 8.5 spot. Milwaukee won. It had to be Baltimore today. Baltimore wasn't getting swept. I told you that was a coin flip series. Every game was a coin flip. Now, Milwaukee was looking pretty darn good in those spots. So today had to be a Baltimore spot. Nice plus money deal. Should have given that one out. Where was I for that one? Hockey under 5.5 does not cash. You know, in hindsight, what were the books' liabilities? They needed the over, and they needed the Panthers. The books smashed. See, what I'm talking about with today's messed up schedule. San Francisco found themselves in a 20-0 Logan Webb position. And it goes like this for a bunch of these Major League Baseball spots. They're losing 8-4 against the Kansas City Royals, who have not been scoring themselves. What the fuck? WTF. Okay. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I talked about that loss. And then, you know, daddy's little gift here. The Phillies over 5.5 team total. And Jesus Luzardo over 4.5 Ks for a plus 130. A lot of these tucking heads high-fiving and celebrating themselves. They cashed their minus 1.5 Phillies. We're real here. Let me be real with you. The Phillies last night at minus 1.5 was minus 175. And for a slight second there, around the bullpen time frame, we know the reliever, Jose Alvarado, out. Narrowed that gap. It was a 3-run final. In fact, if you laddered up to minus 2.5, you still laid minus 115. So what we've done in this series, I projected it. I told you they were going to be leading the NL by the time this series was over. They're there. Expected them to sweep. They're pretty freaking close. We'll see if TJ Walker can pull through for us tonight. But we've cashed plus money on every one of these games. Nobody else is doing that. Show me somebody else that's cashed plus money in every game of that Colorado series. The margin, 2.5s and 3.5s, you're still laying juice. That's the way we attack baseball. That's the way we've been profitable year in and year out. We're at 76 units. And these are real units. These aren't, we increased our unit size and we're counting everything as 1 unit or $1 or whatever. There's so much bullshit out there with the unit game. We talked about this yesterday. $100 a unit, a game. That's how I advocate you guys looking to build your bankrolls, go out there and bust this thing up. And if you want to be a $200 better, maybe you're a $250 better. Maybe. Either way, flat betting. We're not chasing. We're not spreading ourselves overly thin. If we take a loss, we take a loss and we move forward and we go catch that win. You know, when you play a double down play or a triple down play, say you're a $100 better, and all of a sudden you get a $300 play. Chances are you move to $300 because you already lost 2. So you're down 200 plus the VIG. So you're down probably like 225-ish, 230-ish. With a 3, if you win that 3, you're up like a half a unit, right? Maybe something like that. If you lose that 3, you're down like 6 units. Now you got to win 7 games. You know what you're doing? You're injecting cash. You're not withdrawing cash from your bankroll. That's not what we're here to do. We want to get this money on a regular basis. Let's get to work. We got work to do. You guys got to go check that golf video out. Please make sure you smash that thumbs up on it. Even if you don't play golf, just give it a click and listen to the fucking thing for us. Please. Yeah. Choosing my words carefully. It's important. We want to see some views. No views, no videos. Rather not waste my time. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Picking up what I'm putting down. Appreciate all you guys coming in here. Let's do this thing here. You know the deal. In-show thumbs up, post-show comments. Several of you guys are still committed to commenting, and I appreciate that. That does help us. We're trying to grow. You know the deal. We want YouTube to support us. Recommend us. 65% of our viewers now. New viewers coming from the YouTube recommendation. That's because we're professional disruptors up in here. We're not them wacko psychos that keep copying your picture and posting it all over Twitter. No. We'll leave that for the other guys. They can have those guys. We don't want those guys in our community. What we want are those that care enough about this community to help try to attract. We're all recruiters. We're all in the recruiting game. We want to recruit new eyeballs with fresh ideas. Ideally, are successful gamblers so that they can share what they've learned. and we all work together. This community works together, not the rest of it. Everyone says us versus the bookies. That is not true. Apparently, it's us versus them. I don't know where that came from, but I would suspect they get jealous because we win, and they don't like competition. They'll go out there and tell you they're winning, but they smidged out a tenth of a unit for the day. That's not us here. You guys know the deal. Let's grow this thing together. Let's disrupt this YouTube algorithm. Smash that thumbs up button for us in show and leave a comment after the show. Who knows? We might do a giveaway. Let us get to work. Not a lot of plays, but we have plenty of action. That's the most important thing here. I got to check one thing real quick. One thing. And then we'll go. And then we will launch. Let's see this. Let's see that. Let's do this. All right. Yep. That's what I wanted to see. Thank you for bearing with me. Let's get to work. You guys know the deal. We're going to cover baseball. We're going to cover the NHL. We're going to cover the NBA. And we're going to cover some WNBA out there. A little bonus ball with the girls. Girls out there playing basketball as well. Big games tonight. Lots of fun. Lots of things to get involved with here. Let's go. Let's get this show on the road. Let's start with a couple of crazy trends on top of this thing. How about that? How be that? Let's see what you guys are on in the chat. We'll get going with the Mets in Boston. 6:45. We got about 20 minutes till first pitch gets thrown across the mound, and Redbeard's coming in to pop off the top and says, Mets smash. And he said it in capitals. Mets smash. Let's go. Redbeard, my guy. Joe Dubs in the house. Gerald Jones is in this piece. He says, best bet, Diamondbacks plus 125 for Gerald Jones. Shout out to Nicholas Handy. Trisha M. How about them Ice Cats? Give a prayer for your goalie. Karma would be a bitch. We know how fast Karma can roll around. Redbeard says, hump day. Peter Gracia says, let's get cash tonight. There's Barry in the house. Trisha M says, run a June RBI contest and gift the BBQ sauce, huh? Nothing pairs better than a ribeye with barbecue? I'm an SPG guy. A little salt, pepper, garlic. Gonna need a short of Florida. Looks good. I don't know about that goalie. It scares me. If you know anything about Bobrovsky, you know that you can't count on Bobrovsky when you need to count on Bobrovsky. That's what I'll say about that. Oldie says, what's up, squad? Jerry Davis likes the Mystics and the over. Redbeard's in the house. He's giving out the what up to Old E, and Old E's giving it to Redbeard. Let's go. Jerry Davis says, Logan Webb, 10 hits, WTF. Our resident Toronto whisperer here lives in the 6. He's giving you guys the Padres money line. He's not afraid to fade his Jays. I think it's a great Jays fade spot tonight, too. It's Gaussman. You know my deal with Gaussman. Timmy Two-Shoe says, Teoscar to get off the schneid and smack a homer versus Burns. Burns is no Yamamoto. Well said. Shout out to Fernando Mendoza. Terry Davis, no way I'm riding this J streak and riding the Padres bad streak until it derails, says Jerry Davis. A little differing of opinions. Nothing official for me there. I do have the Padres laid down in a couple of parlays. So I'll be curious to see how that folds or unfolds. Peter Gracia says, Red Sox, crochet, 49 degrees at game time. Lean socks and under. Timmy Two-Shoe says, give me the Edmonton Oilers money line, sprinkling the overtime. Kelly V. Shouting out Peter. Likes Peter's play out there. Jerry Davis says, both socks and under for me. Gosh. Spoiler alert, it's not the Red Sox. Spoiler alert. I love you guys. Spoiler alert. Shout out to Trisha M giving me the shout out there. Kelly V, number one commenter on the YouTube videos. Ain't nobody gonna catch her. Peter Grassi says, liked and post comments after the show. Hell yeah, my guy. Let's go. I know you do. Let's go. Derek B. Where are the winners tonight? Could be the Dallas Stars and the Knicks, question mark. Kelly V's talking about that beatdown for the Ice Cats. Fernando Mendoza says, how about Tottenham winning Europa? It's about time. 4 straight wins for Tottenham against Man U. Who saw that coming? 1-0. I saw 1-0 coming. I just didn't think it would be hot toddies. Let's go. Timmy Tushy says, ooh, sweeping the Mets. I don't care who's pitching. I have to take the Mets. Joseph Alvarado. Kelly V says, Dallas doesn't fight for home ice for no reason. Barry's in the house. Love all the yellow stars. Let's go. Jay Main's here. Action Jackson says, cocktails up. Stirring Company. National Tush Push Day. The Philly Shove, my friend. It lives. How about that for karma? 22-10. 22-10 was the final score of that Green Bay game. 22-10 was the vote final for the Tush Push to stay in. Don't be soft. Get yourself a better quarterback. That's what you need to do. Kelly V says, Vasquez, no good either. Jackson says, or as I'd like to say, you almost got me. You almost got me to read everything on screen out there. Jerry Davis, bet crochet to get over 18.5 outs. Oh my gosh. All right. We got to get into this, you guys. I got to see if we can't prevent you from, we'll see here. I don't want to ever be so confidently and outspoken to yell at you guys about this, but it is not the Red Sox tonight. You know what I mean when I say crochet? All right, let's get into it. Peter says, no worries, Mikey. I'm telling you, buddy. I always know. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Jay Main says, moved on under 106.5 first half line because the second half 114 was confused. All good. All good stuff. All good stuff. Jerry Davis says, y'all catch them falling knives with the Mets and Padres. And it's going to be my cash. Ron Young, I'm not really a prop player, but I heard this today. Hyman has 8 goals in his last 6 first games of a series. Wow. Well, that's impressive. Got me there. Stirring Company, by the way, before I forget, I did send you back an email. Got to respond to me. Shoot me back an email. Shoot me an email for the email I sent you from the email you sent me. It's not crochet. It's not crochet. Now, maybe if you're going to fade trends, it is. Maybe. If you're looking to fade some trends, it is. You got 58% of the bets, 50% of the cash. A little inkling of sharper money coming in on the plus money New York Metropolitans. Over 8s dropped to 7.5s, and even 7s now. Too far. Too far at 7. Whenever we see that full run drop, you got to go the other way. 79% of the bets, 79% of the cash on the over. It's come down to run. Now, maybe that's because it is crochet day and he's going to shove. He does have some interesting numbers. He got himself some interesting numbers here, but you got to ask yourself, why is this line priced the way it is? Meaning, if this guy's killing it and he's setting the world on fire, 2.0 ERA, I give that to him. It's pretty freaking solid for sure. Why is he only a minus 144 to open up? Furthermore, yeah, you got the series sweep on the line when it comes down to it. So you got a 500 Boston Red Sox team. And look, tight games, 2-0, 3-1 in this series out there. The sky is falling for the Mets. We've talked about that. Juan Soto gets hit in the foot yesterday. I don't know what that controversy was. Was it yesterday? And yeah, everybody liked the Red Sox to win the AL East. They're 4.5 games behind the Yankees. The number, what are they? The Yankees, the number 3 hitting team in all of Major League Baseball, but they're, half a game ahead of Toronto. It's a big game on the line for these guys here. As you mentioned, the sweep. 1 run scored in 2 games this series out there, and everybody is hating on Juan Soto. Garrett Crochet, when he's not a egregious favorite starting at home, is 0-14. In other words, fading Crochet in a position where he's not a minus 300 or more at home has produced 14 straight wins. That's why I ask you why the line is where the line is. especially with how ice cold these bats are for the Mets. It's not just that he's losing, it's his margin of loss. It's over 2 runs a spot. In fact, the run line against this turkey, dive turkey, is 1.7 runs a game. 1.7. Now the under has come down. The under's 10-4 in those Garrett Crochet starts. So could we expect to see it? My personal feeling, my philosophy, I guess we haven't quite got there yet. If you go from 4.5 to 3.5 and everyone's like, how many times have you seen this? I got the 4.5, I got the 4s, and it's 3.5s, and they're all celebrating their CLV. You're celebrating a loss. Nice job, dude. You took an L. Late is great. Early is risky when it comes to betting out there. Now, this has only come down a half a run. So, with all fairness, the problem I have, where's the best number? And we came to the conclusion. Why is it when FanDuel has the best number, it's an L? I'm going to tell you this. The best number as an L, because they have the most handle across the country when it comes to legal betting. So if they're baiting you in with all that handle, they're desperate. And you don't want to be involved in that either. So I'll take it. I'll take it wherever it is. To me, it's a 14-0 spot out there for this Red Sox fade. I'm going to get involved in it. I almost went to the first 5 too. I decided that I'm just going to take the full game here. Official show play at a plus 130. I don't care where he played. He's playing well for Boston, no doubt about it. But man, Boston bats can get cold. If I got to take the L, take the L. Problem I have, this number. This number opened up in a funny position. I thought it was funny when I first looked at it, knowing how well Crochet is playing. See, that's kind of the way I look at it when I start the capping process. I look at who's pitching, and then what's the number, right? Then I'll look at some of the other stuff like the splits and the trends and all that other factor that goes into it. And collectively, I came up with the Met spot tonight. Nasty Nate likes Devers, Bregman, and Soto over a half a hit each parlay. Interesting. Grandpa Ernie likes the Mets. Says, win one, please. Red Bridge telling Nasty Nate it's not a Red Sox smash spot. Somebody asked me the other day, does Nasty Nate realize when he's got his all caps on that it's bad text for him? It's bad text decorum. I said, I just think Nasty Nate wants to get your attention. I think that's why he does it. It's not yelling at us, guys. I think he just wants attention. That was a true conversation I had. If he doesn't know, now he knows. Texas Rangers, New York Yankees going to pop off for the second game on the old calendar. 65% of the bets, 68% of the cash have come in on the Yankees. It's come from minus 120 down to minus 113. Ergo, some late betting coming in on the Texas Rangers. 7.5s on the total have not moved with 78% of the bets and 72% of the cash. It's DeGrom. It's Yarbrough. You know, people love DeGrom. I mean, look at the year he's having, right? No doubt about it. I can't find there it is. They're all over this DeGrom spot. And I get it. You know, DeGrom, the problem you got with the Rangers is the bats, right? Let's just put that on the table. If you're gonna play, they're 1-3 in their last 4 games. You know, they did have a nice little stretch. That stretch was against Detroit on the road, and they thumped Colorado at home, and they took down Houston. Well, they pushed Houston. They lost 5-2 yesterday. That total was at 9 yesterday. Man, I got fucked on a home run parlay yesterday. 21-1 was the payout for Judge, Schwarber, and Ohtani. And Judge gets the homer late. Schwarber gets his homer relatively late, of course. And 0-0 in that Dodgers game. They offered me a payout of 4-1. I was like, no, thank you. I got the free home run prop on this thing. Got 100 down. You're going to cash me out for 400, or I can stick around and cash 2,100. Stick around. Where the fuck was Ohtani? In any event, Ohtani was nowhere to be found. I saw KV talking about it being Will Smith bobblehead night tonight. I'd almost have to think about Ohtani getting 2+ RBIs at least in this game here. He did nothing last night. Off the schneid. So DeGrom, people love DeGrom. You look at his ERA, looks factorable. He is 4.4 ERA on the road. He's also in one of those spots I like to fade. Dude went 8 innings his last game. 5 hits, 1 walk, 7 Ks. It's impressive that you could go 8 innings and only have 7 Ks. That was against them, Stros. Now, prior to that, though, this is a 5-inning dude. 5 innings against the Tigers, 5 innings against Seattle, 5 innings against Oakland the first time they played. Then he gave the rollback the second time through and went 6 innings. So collectively, I don't think it's a Texas Ranger spot, despite that cash coming in on it. I don't like the Yankees number here either, but I am going to attack the total. I'm going to look at this total. It's the same spot we attacked the total on last night. For the Rangers, they're 16-0 now. It was 15-0 last night. It's 16-0 now if they allowed more than 2 runs and struck out more than 5 times. In other words, you're forcing your bats, you're swinging at them. We saw it last night. They only scored 2. The Yankees find themselves in an 8-0 position to the under. Total's less than 10.5. They scored 3 or more runs and used more than 3 pitchers. The margin for both of these intersecting zeros, 3.9 runs per game to the under. It's going to be sweaty. I think what's important, so I'm on the under 7.5, first and foremost. Let's put that on the table. Let's get that one out there. And I think what you got to look for here is, in a lower scoring game, especially if you catch a tie, look to live bet, right? Look for these guys after that 5th inning when theoretically DeGrom should come out, and look to try to take shit. You know what I mean, realistically, Texas is pitching, look for the Yankees, or Texas is batting, look for the Yankees at plus money around that 6th, 7th inning. I think this number does scare me just a little bit, though. I don't, is it just the overall love? I think it is a fade spot. First 5 situation with these two teams, looking at trying to isolate that pitcher. Well, I don't want to isolate Yarbrough. He's got a 3.7 ERA. And the best first 5 numbers with FanDuel. So, I guess not. 3.5's tight. Anything can happen. The win is in our favor as well. I think we got a good opportunity for this under 7.5. We'll just stick with the under. Tough matchup. Guy's fucking firing here. Problem, like I said, Yarbrough. On the surface, I get why the number is the price the way it is. But you got Rangers bats hitting around 211 their last 10 games. Cold as ice. Willing to pay the price. Well, I just explained it, Jerry. I get why they're pricing it the way they are. I get it. I totally get it. And, to me, it's around the ER. It's the pitcher. The starting pitcher is driving the full game price tag. And that don't make sense to me. Somebody clicking the button? Fuck's clicking all these buttons. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Jay Main says, he didn't take the payout. I think that's a great RBI. I think that's a great home run prop. You know what? Take a look at that. You probably could just blindly play that Schwarber, Judge, and Ohtani. And theoretically, you could probably cash 4-1. I would envision you could probably cash 4-1 almost every single time. 2 of them are going to hit, and then the last guy to go is going to be Ohtani. Problem is, how do you pull away from Ohtani, right? You want to play on Ohtani. All right, I don't have a slide for this one. This was a late ad for me here. I'm looking at this game here. I like that Padres. I mentioned that, but we're running out of room for this Phillies-Colorado spot here. You got to lay -2.5 to catch plus 105, and you got 100% of the bets on it, 100% of the cash. Everyone's on the Phillies. The problem, I think, with this Philly spot that people may or may not realize is it is a fade position. It's a fade position for Walker. Now, the challenge being, equal challenge here, he's a 2.62 ERA, and Palmquist on the other side is 11.25. Look, if you know anything about Palmquist, look at his numbers when he was down in was he in Albuquerque? Albuquerque's got some elevation. I mean, it's tough when you got a guy coming up from the minors to try to compare to the majors, right? But there are some things that you can look at, specifically when you're pitching at elevation. What are you doing? And Palmquist is throwing meatballs. So despite it being a bad TJ Walker spot tonight, I think it was 0-8. Let me see if I can. I don't know what happened to that spot I had. Let me see. Where did it go? I added it late, so I'm not going to have it. In any event, we look at this previous series here with these two teams, and yeah, the Phillies are throttling them. We talked about this at the onset of the show. We're one of the only spots out there, one of the only shops in town that's got plus money every single game this series, and for good reason. We're getting creative in the way that we're attacking these guys here, but two things. One, we call Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper, post-haircut, on fucking fire. He's just nuking everybody, right? This guy's just going out there and nuking everybody. That's all there is to it. He's hitting almost a 500 since he got the haircut. And he did it again last night. 10s, 9.5s and 10s are where they opened. They got to some 11s, and everyone's saying the Phillies are making Coors look like Coors again. Well, that is true. But they scored 12 the first game, total combined between the two teams, 9-3. Then 7-4 is 11. And this is the last game. So they're going to get the hell out of Dodge here. I don't like that the Phillies are not going to play the next 10 games at Coors, because that to me scares me just a little bit. Their next game probably going to be an L. We'll probably look to fade them. I'll have to look into it a little bit more, because we know when you leave Coors, it is a problem here. But I just don't see the runs. We're getting too many. Too many is what it's coming down to for me. And we saw 11.5 was the peak. We saw the cash coming in on the over. 63% of the bet, 73% of the cash. And it's getting to the point now where it's starting to come down. It defies all wisdom and logic here. And if I got to eat this one, I will. Like I said, Palmquist, 11.25 ERA. Walker in that 0-8 spot. Problem is, even if they do bust up Palmquist, team total 6.5 is juiced. Let's say they put up 8, and Walker finds a way to shove and keeps it down to that 3 or so. You're still at 11. It's too many runs. This is too many runs for this game for me. 11.5. I'm on the under in this spot. That's a short one. We'll keep it short and sweet. Geez. You guys are fired up, huh? Everyone's fired up. That Mets and Red Sox series got everybody fired up. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go to this one. You know the deal. We're ahead of our curve. We're ahead of our target. We're firing on this thing here. Now, 5 straight wins. Since the proclamation, they would go 10-4 over their next 14. It's because of the dialed-in nature of the bats. I caught a really great live line on the Angels last night. I didn't give them out live, but I caught a plus 155 and a 150. And I sent it to my guy, and I was like, dude, you might want to hedge out of your Athletics. Told you not to play him. You played him anyways. Now here's a good plus 150 hedge. He didn't listen. 63% of the bets, 59% of the cash on the Athletics. They are juicy favorites. No way will I click a button on the Athletics at minus 165. Let's start right there. $10.5's the total. 61% of the bets, 51% of the cash. Hey, we know it's a hitter-friendly ballpark. We certainly know the situation out there. But when you look at the game itself, you look at how these things have been flying. 1 over, 1 under. 7-5 final was nice cash for me last night, but 4-3 the game before that. And we cashed on that one because we had the team total at 3.5. They picked up a 4-pack. When do these bats hit? Are they consistent enough or not? That's going to be a challenge here. I want them to stay hot so we can just get the accolades of talking about, cashing this money and getting that. Fuck, if they could catch me at 14-0, I'll be plus money riding dirty. But it comes down to it to me, and this is a fade of the Angels. JP Sears. I get it. He's better at the pitching side of things. How many innings is he going to go? He's still got a 3.31 ERA. He's 3-2 against the Angels. 3.86 ERA in his career starts out there. The bottom line is the Angels or the Oakland Athletics just aren't good at ending streaks. Hopefully, we can see Kashanowitz there. Hopefully we can see him go through his 5 because those bats with Oakland have been a little bit cold. But look, Rooker and Butler, phenomenal. Angels bullpen, bad. That's going to be the case for the Angels for a long time. But their bats are, that's what I said a week ago. Their bats are top 10 rankings. Their pitching staff stinks, but they've been able to find a way. And the Athletics are 0-13 when they find teams on 6 to 7 game. On a 6 or 7 game losing streak. They've lost 7 in a row. And if you think about it, when you have a young team in the Athletics with no home and no identity and no home fans, you start losing confidence in yourself. Now you're going to give me a plus 145 price tag on top of it? I'll take the Angels. I'll take the fact that these guys can't beat streaks. When the going get tough, the Athletics get going the other direction. Pretty straightforward for me. Going to stay on this Angels bandwagon. Going to take this plus money spot. You know that this will be they're looking for what? 6 in a row? The Athletics have lost 7 in a row. And this will be the 6th straight time that they can cash another plus money spot on this Angels side of things here. Let's go streak, my friends. We don't get off the streak until the train hits the station. And that's not what we're doing tonight, especially when we have an 0-13 spot in our favor. Dirty Reg says, yeah, I mean, it's the bats. The bats are what makes sense. Bats are what makes sense. You win games by scoring runs. Don't score runs, you don't win games. The Angels bats have figured that piece of it out for us here. Let's go. Let's keep her going. Let's go. We got some games to talk about. Diamondbacks and Dodgers. This one pops off at 10:10 p.m. and the entire planet is nuking the over. They got the Sports Almanac. They got the playbook. The playbook is telling them smack that over. 9s and 9.5s now. 74% of the bets, 81% of the cash on the over. Dodgers price tag dropping. 62% of the bets, 59% of the cash on Los Doyers. Burns, 2.56 ERA. Dustin May, 4.43 ERA. I told you my disappointment with Ohtani. Game 1, we saw smacked over. We cashed it. Game 2 was an under. 4-3. Now, the Dodgers did win. What I tell you about these price tags? Minus 140, 156. Everyone was texting me telling me it's a gift to take the Dodgers. You're not going to get him with this price tag. Okay. Look at foolish. Listen, public. They just won yesterday and they're still priced around that minus 145 price tag again. That can't just be the reason that you take a team like the Dodgers. I get it. It's attractive, but you lost. They cashed yesterday. It stays under. Ohtani shit the bed. Ohtani was nowhere to be found. Diamondbacks, Dodgers, battle. Still a great series overall. 9-5 loss, 4-3 win between these two spots out there. The world's on the over. I'm on the under. It's not the only reason why, but for a strong case here, there's a lot. So I contemplated. Here's the thoughts that I had going through my head. Ohtani scores 2+ RBIs. He was nowhere to be found yesterday. He's now number 2 behind Schwarber for top home run leader in Major League Baseball? Then I thought about Dustin May. Arizona under. Team total under. And I thought about the other side of the pitching bump here, and Burns with a 2.56 ERA. Do I want to attack Burns with the Dodgers, or do I want to try to look at the Dodgers team total under? And I started thinking, I don't want to be involved in team total under businesses. Why don't I just take the under itself? And then I found out that Dustin May, as a starter, has 9 straight divisional unders. The games themselves, despite the Dodgers being one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks in baseball, are averaging 5.23 runs per game in divisional starts for Dustin May. He's melting opponents with a 201 batting average, and he's averaging almost 8 Ks on 6 hits per game in those spots. None of them have gone over 8 runs a game. And May starts for May, the icing on the cake, 5 straight unders in the month of May for May against the Arizona Diamondbacks out there. He has held teams to 3 or fewer runs in 7 of those 9 starts on top of it. Contrarian. Catch the 9.5. We'll take the hook on the back end of this thing, and we'll cash it, and everybody else will not. That's my projection. I'd still like Ohtani with 2+ runs, but I like the Dodgers, I guess. I don't want to be an asshole with this price tag after I just beat my chest about how this isn't the spot to be playing the Dodgers price tag. I'm reminded of what one JPZ has said. Whenever they make the Dodgers more attractive after the initial line is released, you bet them. Jerry Davis, contrarian with me. Bet L1L. They have, this made it here. What up? Bet L1L. Wine Time's in the house. What up, Wine Time? That'll do it for baseball. Couple unders. 3 unders. 2+ money plays on the sides themselves. I might get back on. I might double dip into the Arizona team. I don't know. I might have the same game parlay. There's a bunch of I mights here. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put together a same game parlay for this game, and I will send it out to everybody. You could probably anticipate where I'm going with the same game parlay. Yeah. We're on the under 9.5. Yeah. Okay. Talked about it. Let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers at Dallas Stars here. Game number 1 of the series. A big battle for the Western Conference. Dallas finds themselves as the home team. Edmonton, the sleeping giant, has awakened, and they have slayed dragons throughout their playoff course. They nuked the Vegas Golden Knights. They smashed the Los Angeles Kings, and the Kings at home were no joke. Skinner, overtime shutout, game 5. Back-to-back shutouts for Skinner. 2.81 goals against average on the season. 1.28 goals against average. 2-1 since coming back. Skinner got the oust because he was playing like shit. And they've come back to him. Against the Stars, 4-2 with a 1.91 goals against average. Pretty darn good. Ottinger, these are 4 good goaltending matchups. Apparently, I think the weak link, the sieve of the goaltenders left in the playoffs, to me, has to be the Stuart Skinner side of things. But what always gets me cautious when it comes to these playoffs in the NHL, when a team can flip to their backup goalie and their backup goalie gets rolling, it's hard to beat him. Stuart Skinner was the number 1. He played like shit. He got demoted. Came back in when the team needed him, and he's been firing like a number 1. It's like he got that relief, that second leash on life here in a year that everybody said Edmonton's going to win the Stanley Cup. They very well may. See them winning the game tonight here. And if they do, they'll show me something. Let me talk to you. Dallas. Conference home. Opponent off a win. Lined less than -130. Around point flippy spots. Home teams against the conference when the opponent came off a win. The home team is 30-10. For a couple of reasons. The biggest one, the home team gets to manipulate the lineup matchups. So when you're playing the conference, you're familiar with the opponent. The opponent just got the win, so you're selling high on the opponent ultimately. And that home team prevails, 30-10. I've seen playoff games in Dallas. That place is electric. Should be phenomenal. Home favorites on a low scoring streak with rest find themselves 15-3. You had 3 days off. You had 3 straight unders. You came off a 1-goal win. 15-3. Check another box for Dallas. Let's dig deep. Let's go to the well. Let's look at who's officiating the game. It's Wes McCauley. Now, I talked about Wes McCauley when he was reffing for Toronto. Toronto ain't winning when Wes is reffing, and Toronto did not win. When Wes McCauley refs Dallas games this year, Dallas 3-0-1. Last year, they were 3-0-2. The year before that, they were 4-0. Wes McCauley loves the Dallas Stars with the home team, getting the last change, and that monster 15-3 trend in their direction. We'll look at his partner, Francis Sharon. How does it go when Dallas is officiating? Well, they're 3-0. Now you would ask, well, what is Wes McCauley when he refs an Edmonton game? Edmonton's 2-3. What is Francis Sharon when he refs an Edmonton game? Edmonton's 2-4. We're digging deep. We're going into the well there. We're going to come up with this Dallas Stars play tonight here at -125. Reasonable price tag for a reasonable squad. Maybe, just maybe, they lose this series. But for me, for now, they can win this game. It's one game at a time. It's home. They got the benefit of sleeping in their own beds last night on top of it. So all that other adage and cheesy stuff you hear in the playoffs with home teams, I think reigns true. I'm going to take the Dallas Stars there. Give you guys the ref report on top of that one. Let's look at the Knicks and Pacers here really quick. I took it yesterday on the Timberwolves. We talked about Ant. I mean, it's a loss. The loss is the loss. Total, 91% of the bets, 89% of the cash are on the over. It's come down a half a point. It started to tick back up, though. Just late buying coming in on the over. The fours have moved to 4.5s in favor of the Knickerbockers, the short pants. 57% of the bets, 67% of the cash coming in on the Knicks. It's gone from -4 to -4.5. Star-studded banger, Halliburton, Turner, Cat, Mouse, Dog, all in play here tonight. Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein. I mean, Jesus, not Hartenstein, excuse me, but Brunson. I mean, this is going to be a battle. And I told you already, my projection, I think it's going to be OKC, and I think it's going to be Indiana. I think that these boys will get shut down. Probably do see a 7, maybe a 6, and they close it off at Pacers because they want that rest when they get ready for OKC. Josh Hart to get a double-double. Looks like a tremendous play tonight. Price tagged around +150 if you're interested in the player prop business. We know that, the Knickerbockers took down the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics did not smash. In fact, they got smashed. The Pacers took down the Cleveland Cavaliers. 2 Dragons were slayed between this matchup being met out there, and it's going to be a tricky one to get involved with here. I'll tell you this. The Pacers, 10-0 to the over. 2 or more point dog, facing a team they allowed less than 103 points to the previous game. Despite pace, they D'd up and shut them down. Pacers are 8-1 against the spread as a dog with a rest advantage. And the Pacers are outscoring teams 125 to 118 in those spots. They're 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread when they've got that rest advantage situation as well. Challenge for me here is the early start of the game. I told you my strategy for live betting this game is I'm going to look to get involved with the Pacers in the third quarter live because I expect that they will be losing at halftime. And the reason I expect they'll be losing at halftime is because of the margins. The Pacers on the road in the first half are -6. Add up all their scores in the first halves against their opponents, they're -6 on the road. The Knicks at home are 10, +10. That's a 16-point differential in favor of the Knickerbockers. The way I think they get there, how do they get to that point? I think they come out and they smash that first quarter. I think the Knicks can come out fast-paced at home with the crowd behind them. Pacers trying to set picks and rolls and play that defense and figure out who they got to queue up on out there. And I just think the lights are bright in MSG for a West or Eastern Conference playoff game number 1. And I expect by the second half they'll pull it in. But I think in this first quarter, let's get in, let's get out. I lean to the under, strong lean to the under. I know I read that 10-0 over trend here, but man, there's so much money coming in on this over, and you get it. You look at these teams and you think pace, and especially with the Pacers, but when you see that they were able to shut these boys down the last time they played, 46% of the bet, 67% of the cash are on the Pacers money line. They like that +165 Pacers to win it outright. Knicks first quarter for me, look to live bet the Pacers in the third quarter because they will be down at halftime. And I got one last play for you. Actually, I guess I got two last plays for you. Let's go to the WNBA. Let's lay it on the line. Now, these two teams just played, as I mentioned. You know, I don't get shit for split when it comes to the folks of Action, but I'll tell you, they set it at 168.5. This line has not moved. They just played. It was 164 on the back end. And it hasn't moved. So 168, they added 4.5 points to it. I get it. The last time these two teams played, just the other day, this is the home opener for the Lynx, by the way. They started out in Dallas, 99-84. It was a fast-paced tempo, 164 on the total. The following game, they play at the Sparks, a 165, and it goes under the total. The thing for me, when I looked at the trends for this spot here, tough to get these trends. You know, the WNBA, sometimes we'll find them. But we have a couple in place here. Now, for me, this one comes down to, it's an over trend. However, it's a 218 and 149 to the over spot. The opponent's previous margin of defeat, more than 7 points. Well, the Wings lost by 8. The total was less than 174. Well, the total was 166. Problem is this. The average line we're seeing in these spots are 164, like it was the last game. And they're only going over by 3.8 points a spot, which is 167.8. So they open this 4.5 points up at 168.5, and it hasn't moved. I think they opened it too high. I think the second time through, the defense steps up and reigns, especially for the home opener in the Lynx. I'm going to take the under. Then I'm going to go to a little Carrington action here. Numbers. First home game. Numbers do suggest points, despite me going in the opposite direction. And look, she averages 26 minutes. When she averages 26 minutes, she's getting 15.2 points a clip. Her 12 or more points. This is going to vary by book. So some of these books don't want to get crazy with like WNBA props, but DraftKings, 12 or more points plus 115 for Carrington. So I double dipped it. I took a shot with the under at 168.5. I took a shot with the 12 plus points at plus 115. And there's a little double WNBA sent your way to make the bookies pay. It's Sports Money. Thank you guys all for checking out the show tonight. Good luck with your action. We got to get you guys to all get along up in here. Appreciate all you guys, though. Thanks for smashing that thumbs up button. If you haven't done so on the way out the door, take a second to do that. If you like the content tonight, leave a comment for me. Tell me what you're playing. Tell me what you're fading. Tell me what you're cashing. Tell me you've been cashing this week. We've been having a hell of a week. Tell me you're going to go watch that golf video and then go watch the golf video and tell me you watched the golf video. That much we would appreciate you guys. It takes about 10 minutes collectively. And when you watch it, you can watch it on 2x speed. You would be doing me kindly a great favor by watching that golf video, getting it to the end, and leaving a comment for us out there so we can continue to build. I've got rugby action ready to release here. We'll get that out there later today for you guys as well. On behalf of the Sports Money crew, thanks for being here, checking out what we do. You can see my man, Ramon Scott, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., running and gunning. Shout out to Sancho. Shout out to Grandpa Ernie. Shout out to Nasty Nate, Joe W., David Wallace, Peter Gracia, Trisha M. Thank you guys. Redbeard for being up in here. Kelly V. Fernando Mendoza. Appreciate all you guys. AOD. Jerry Davis, my guy. Let's get this money, you guys. Let's have a great night tonight, and let's get back here and do it again. Shout out to Cameron Sinet. I see him out there as well. All you guys came up, showed out tonight. Jay Main, appreciate you. Let's get her. Bet L1L. Welcome to the squad, my friend. We'll see you guys all real soon. Hope you make a ton of money.